Hey guys, we're back here again today, and we are getting set up, ready to start pulling the motor out of this truck here. We stayed a little bit late last night trying to get everything in the garage organized so that we can get to the tools and so that we can actually make progress on the stuff today. So again, here's the motor. This motor was used at a junkyard. We're going to be putting this in. As far as we know, the motor is good. So that's all good news there. And then as far as process goes onto the truck, there is a big brush guard on the front that I took off. The radiator's already out, and the wiring's pretty much already pulled off. We just got to do the unbolting and the actual pulling of the stuff, and then we'll move the accessories over and all that stuff after it's already been moved. So this truck's got big tires on it, and a little hint I learned is just to deflate them so that you can actually reach things and work on things. But really there's not a whole lot more that we've got left to do here, so we're going to get going on this and probably start up a time lapse or update you guys here as we get this going. So we'll check back with you guys in a minute. Alright guys, so I'm laying up underneath here, and I kind of wanted to show you where we've got to start off and where we're going to potentially keep going and ending up in that kind of a scenario. So the goal is for us to pull the motor and the transmission, because I think it'll be a little bit easier, but I want to leave the transfer case. So I've got to figure that out with these mounts here, and do a little bit of research on the YouTube and figure out like what we've actually got to do. But where I'm working on right now is back many months and almost a year ago or something ridiculous like that. We were laying up underneath here cutting the stuff off with a torch, and I kind of remember what I did, kind of don't remember, but I remember I cut this flange part off with the torch, and I know I needed to work on this side. So as far as the exhaust can come down, I got to do that. As you can tell, this had some custom exhaust work done to it already. I mean, it's got true duals, I think, all the way back. But anyway, and then I've got to go over to do this side. I'm just guessing on where it's at with the camera, I'm not sure. But do that side, and then get underneath here and undo the drive shaft. And we'll just kind of have to see where this is going to put us with everything else. Because the mounts, that ain't going to be that big of a deal. I've actually already done those before, so I know that they will come loose. We're just kind of playing it by ear, and probably about ready to start some fire, but we'll see. We'll see where it gets from here. There's a lot of memes out there about, you know, wrenches taking off bolts and screwdriver and ratchets and pipes and all this stuff. Well, it's not always a fun time when you gotta get one of these out, but pretty exciting. You got get a little bit more fuel. It's not stuff. You sure you got it on right? Say you do. Need a little more. A little more. That's what we're going for right there, bad boys. Not that. Touchiest freaking valves on the planet right here. There we go. With a little blue fire on there. Then try not to touch it stuff. I have no idea, nor can I see what I'm doing. out. Alright, see if I can get That's what we wanted. Alright guys, so we fought with it last night for a while and we're going on day 3. Yesterday was a really big day because we had no rain and it was very warm for given the recent temperatures. So today is significantly colder. I think it's supposed to be like 37 degrees today. So we got dry, warm conditions and something that we kind of rigged up, but imagine me rigging something up. The neighbors might not like it and it can't stay for very long, but we got big tarp, come on, focus. Big tarp here, just glancing over top the truck here. I can feel heat coming out of here. And it's actually not as dark as you might think. Let's go inside. So, some pretty decent light. We've got light set up here to do some business. We can still get the engine crane in here. As you can see, it's right here. We have our heat source. And we're about ready to, we gotta turn the garage light on. We got another light. We'll fire those up. Went and grab that other light. It might not be plugged in. Energy efficient bulb might have to take a little time for it to warm up. Huh? Let's go ahead and just plug that one in, and that will give us more light in here because we really don't need much out here at the truck. So anyway, we've got, it's pretty loud, but see now we're lighting things up a little bit more. So the objective is to get this one out, get the intake swapped over, or get the intake off the new one, get all the accessories and the exhaust manifolds and get everything else, see how well we can get that going. I'm going to start a time lapse of us working on this motor, and if it's taking way too long, then there might not be a time lapse of it. So we'll just see how far we get there. So until then, you guys sit tight. We'll be right back with you. Alright guys, so now filling the air compressor back up. Our tent here is working very, very well. It's keeping a little bit of the breeze out. We've got room to work, and this thing just won't focus. But most importantly, we are getting ready to start pulling these mount bolts out. We have somewhat of an issue. I'll get it in here so you can see. We got somewhat of an issue of clearing this mount here, right here, and then getting, thanks for the light, clearing this whole contraption mount here, getting around the steering. I could take this off, but this isn't really in the way. So we're gonna take these two bolts out, and we're gonna have to pick up the motor and transmission and all that stuff to clear just this one mount section right here. I could take it off of here, but then this is going to be in the way, I think, later. So get this off, keep this with us, because once this metal bracket here is out of the way, then it's got plenty of room to move. On this side, it's a little bit more simple, but we're going to pull the same bolts out right here, lift it up a little bit, slide it out, and see how well that all goes. We might have to change plans later, but we already got the chains hooked up, and man, we're just ready to rock and roll. So you guys sit tight here. We're going to get the hoist in. As soon as the air compressor gets filled, we're going to bust these nuts off here and pull it out. Alright guys, so we had to make a little bit of a game plan change. If you look, there's a big bracket down here. I don't think you can see it because of my shadow and stuff, but this big mounting bracket that I was planning on doing actually goes all the way down and around the block, now that I remember that. So we're actually going to pull the full mount off the block, so it'll be just the block coming out. So hopefully that plan works a little bit better than what it did last time. So I'm just loosening these bolts now, just trying to get the very last. I got one left on the passenger side, and I got one left on the driver's side. So I'll be able to, now come on. Doesn't look at everything's got so many years of rust on it. So. This side we pulled out, it didn't have any weight on the bolts or pressure. They come right out, no big deal. That's the reason why I'm undoing bolts and no engine hoist to hold the motor up. I'm thinking that the bolts will come out and all the pressure will just still be on the mount, so I don't have to. Trying to keep my hands out of there just in case the motor does fall. That motor's falling now. As soon as the bolt comes out, it'll move a little bit. Alright. So this side of the motor, like I'm gonna move it, is supposedly unbolted. Go to this side, where there's only one left, put that thing in here. Now you see the work going on. They don't need to look at my backside anymore. Get on. Oh yeah, that's right. Because a Dodge maybe mounts on one side's a 14, this side's 15. I don't actually think it's a 15, I think it's something standard. But rust and what have yous. Trying to also keep my hands out of here just in case something does go wrong. That's the reason why the ratchet keeps coming off. And I'm pretty sure that this bolt is loose. It's just caught in there now. Time to bring the hoist in. Get this out of the way here. work out, bro? Yeah. Become a mechanic. They're just about right. It doesn't really matter which way we move the boom and if we do anything like that, because I don't think I can get that chain any tighter. I don't want to mess up the cowl. The truck just went up a little bit and dropped just a little pressure. About that, like there. Still got some tension on it, but there's not a lot. So we'll be able to then get that bolt out down there. So what we're actually going to end up doing is wiggling the bolt and putting pressure and taking pressure off just so we can get it out. So, see, well, it is that bolt, isn't it? Yeah. So that's what we're going to do now. So that's where we're at. So back to the time lapse. All right, guys, so now filling the air compressor back up. Our tent here is working very, very well. It's keeping a little bit of the breeze out. We've got room to work, and this thing just won't focus. But most importantly, we are getting ready to start pulling these mount bolts out. We have somewhat of an issue. I'll get it in here so you can see. We got somewhat of an issue of clearing this mount here, right here, and then getting, thanks for the light, clearing this whole contraption mount here, getting around the steering. I could take this off, but this isn't really in the way. So we're going to take these two bolts out, and we're going to have to pick up the motor and transmission and all that stuff to clear just this one mount section right here. I could take it off of here, but then this is going to be in the way, I think, later. So get this off, keep this with us, because once this metal bracket here is out of the way, then it's got plenty of room to move. On this side, it's a little bit more simple, but we're going to pull the same bolts out right here, lift it up a little bit, slide it out, and see how well that all goes. We might have to change plans later, but we already got the chains hooked up, and man, we're just ready to rock and roll. So you guys sit tight here. We're going to get the hoist in as soon as the air compressor gets filled. We're going to bust these nuts off here and pull it out. Alright guys, so getting it out was pretty simple because I wasn't too worried about using the reusing the oil pan, and we wanted to pull the torque converter. I just put power bar in there and pulled against the torque converter, and it came out pretty easy. Didn't have to fight it too much, didn't have to pry too much. It just kind of slid right out. We kept good level motions so that the torque converter would slide right off. We wouldn't tear up the transmission. So here it is, and it's all glory. 100 and some odd thousand, 180 I think thousand miles on it. And I thought she windowed the block, but as you can see, that didn't happen. She did though put a rod through the pan, and it looked like it broke just at the bolts, you know. And send it there. Here's one of the bolts still here, and some of the threads look stripped off of it. But it looks like the bolts broke from, you know, there's no oil in it. There wasn't oil in it when I took it out, and hardly any water. So the things we're going to reuse, it's got a newer torque converter on it, so that's good. Use that. Gonna use man, I don't think there's much else because we already took everything off. So right now everything's as it is. We're gonna get the new motor ready and prepped and get it in. All right guys, guys, so I hope you can hear me. We got the heater running, just trying to warm things back up here. But the torque converter and everything, I'm still having issues. I thought I could get to some of the bolts since we got it out of the bell housing, but I still can't. So the only way to get to those bolts and get the torque converter off so that we can then reuse it is I've got to fully disassemble the whole bottom end of the engine so we can get it all apart so I can get the torque converter and crank to spin. Hopefully I can then pull, you know, just like a couple of the pistons that are causing the hang up, get that stuff out of the way, and then I can actually spin the crank. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But this will be another lead in to another time lapse. Alright guys, so I am now sitting here. I got the oil pan off and everything looks disastrous. It's not good. It is so bad that I don't know exactly if I'm able to just push up one or two pistons, or I'm gonna have to take the whole crank out and like see how that comes. But anyway, I've got the oil pan off, and look at this. Look at this stuff right here. Man, it is just, it's broken. But you can look up here and you can see how dark the crank is and how dark all the metal is inside here. And you can just definitely tell that it got hot with some really bad oil or lack of oil over a long period of time. You can tell this thing's just got a lot of miles on it. You can also tell that it's been sitting for a long time as well. So, I mean, we've got some rubbing there. And it's just gone really bad. Look up there. Oh, that's the stuff. That's the stuff there. I'm gonna try and get the light in here so you can see what's going on. But number one let go and sent the rod through the oil pan. So don't know where the piston is. I imagine it's part of this right here, and piston's probably still stuck up in there somewhere. Can't really tell, I don't think. Oh, there's, well, must have been number two then or something. But anyway, we've got a lot of work to do going forward here. Trying to just make sense of everything here, trying to see if I can't get this thing to spin over and really go from there. So I'm gonna finish getting this oil pan the rest of the way off. Well, actually, I bet you that if I, boom, oh, just, oh, look at this. You got to see this. This is crazy. Look at the colors, all the many colors. When your oil moves like that, that's not good. That's so not good. There's oil and water in there, but I don't even know if there's anything salvageable out of this. I did put this in 3 years ago, a high volume oil pump, and because they put a gauge in it and they were seeing that it was reading low, and it's, needless to say, it's bad. It's just bad. There's, everything here is toast. The whole motor's toast. So I'm going to finish going through this and get to a point where I'm either going to call it a night or get done with it. So I'm just going to see how far and how long I can last to get this stuff done. So see you guys then. Alright, so I just pulled off this one cap off of 6 or 5, and just pulled these off, cap came right off, no big deal. But found this little guy right here. Let me put it back in light. Found this piece of metal here, came down out of the cap. So I think we've got a lot of caps and a lot of stuff like this that's causing us issues on trying to get this motor to spin. So and I know I've got one bolt here that I can get to, but the other one is right here on the other side because it's turned like this, and there's no way to get a wrench in there at all. So I'm gonna sit down like this And then just start taking everything off that still exists, actually. No good way to do this besides on an engine stand, and I don't have one. And I might not be able to get to all the cats because the way the motor's stuck. I just got to get to what I can get to. Alright, that don't want to come off and play. There we go. Alright, take this one off. Probably pull this cap off. This has got a broken bolt on it. Nope, it ain't coming down. It's bent up there, something's got it caught. So at least I might be able to shove a pry bar up in there and then hammer out the piston to the top, although it's almost to the top of its place, but oh well. We can only do what we can do. Let's go to this one. And see if I can. That was pure luck. See how this one looks. This one might be a good one still. Still cross-hatching in the cap, but I don't know if you can still see it or not, but it's still there. Let's see if we can pull the bearing down. I think every bearing spun. Like every one of them. No. Need this. Picked a good day for my batteries to be bad. Yeah, that one looks good. Oh, piston split up. That bearing fell out. That bearing. Yeah, she started to wipe. You can see. I don't know if you can see the copper inside there or not. But that copper collar in there, I don't know if you can see that or not, but that ain't no good. Let's shove that piston up. Shove that piston up. That right there's big hunk of piston. I don't really want to take the heads off this thing now, find out what's going on, because these bearings don't look super bad. I mean, they got miles on them for days, but and they were starting to wear really, really bad, probably because of the lack of oil and heat. They were gonna spin if the others didn't spin first, that's for sure. But as I'm sitting here right now, there's chunks everywhere. I'm gonna take down this oil pump. Yep. There's no way I can get over to that. Well, maybe a wrench. Maybe a wrench. Oh, we'll come back to it. Take this one out over here. can with that one. Yeah, they're all bad. Yeah. There's actually some metal in this one. Something got in there and contaminated that bearing right there. Yep. Man. And these other ones. I don't know. We're gonna have to see about. We're just gonna have to see about everything else here. Pull the front cover off and get that all pulled apart, and then I can get the crank out. So I better start on this first. I don't know how I'm gonna get this front pulley off. Got some lips on there. If I have to get a puller, I can do that. There's that off. And that thing smells hot. Woo! There's burnt oil all in that. Something smells really, really hot. I don't know if you can see this spot right there, how that did that, but man, there's just that piston's out of the way. Let's spin down here bearings and see what you look like. Just a matter of time. Like, when I mean matter of time, I mean like a matter of seconds that this thing could have come undone. All right, let's go get this right here. See if we can't shove on this one. I'm not really sure now what would be holding this. Crack the caps. See what that does. Alright guys, so I've come to a stopping point for a little while actually. I was going to take off the whole front here and try and save some things, and I was going to get the, I'm trying to get this off just in case that one on that motor is bad, just kind of like a nice spare part to have. So I've got to get a puller for this, and the other major kind of dilemma is that here, she needs to get some new exhaust manifolds, so we're probably going to get a set of short headers for it, or some long tubes. We're going to do some pricing and kind of see what's going on, but we need to get some headers for this. because I don't think we're going to be able to find just the cast manifolds laying around, and these bolts are rusted so bad that I just don't see how I'm going to be able to save them. So getting this stuff pulled off of here and getting all this stuff done like this, I think is going to be a near impossible feat. So I've got everything almost off of this that I can get off of it right now. So what I'm going to do is kind of situate the garage, call it a night, and go home and probably start editing this video. So we'll catch with you guys next time. I don't know for sure when that'll be, but we made a lot of progress on this project, and we'll just continue to keep plugging away until we get her done. All right, man, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.